Next up, I'm going to let Katie talk about this one. This has been all over the news this week.
I feel like you were gonna have be on both sides mildly. Me personally, I'm about to be very harsh and probably piss a few people off, but I really don't give a damn.
Bring it
So
on! I can't wait.
we're gonna talk about that shit ass national anthem from Ingrid Andress. I
Mm-hmm.
can't. Okay, we've all seen it. We all know what the going on, but if not, here's your rundown. So she did the national anthem, and it was, I mean, awful. Anyway, she came out and she's apologized and admitted to being drunk while she was performing. God. She said, I was drunk last night, in a quote. She's also received 4 Grammys, which I didn't know that, and that's pretty mind boggling.
So Grammy nominations. She actually hasn't won a
Oh,
Grammy, but yeah.
I missed the word.
No, it's okay.
um, shit.
Just for the sake of accuracy, they were
Yeah,
nominations, not
fuck yeah.
wins. Yeah.
So speaking of accuracy, Boston was making notes about the movies and shit, and he spelled Babadook wrong, and I went in there. So I feel it. Now you've corrected me.
Throw me
Okay.
under the bus, Katie Lynn. All right then.
Okay. So she released a statement saying, I was drunk last night. I'm checking myself into a facility today to get the help I need. That was not me last night. I apologize to the MLB, all the fans in this country I love so much for that rendition. Dare I read on?
So no, you don't have
She
to.
also said
Everybody knows about this.
She also said, I'll let you know how rehab is. I hear it's super fun.
Yeah. So first of all, I've gone and looked her up and listened to her music, and she's fantastic. I'm just gonna throw that out there. Her music is actually really fucking good. Okay. Um, the reason why I wanted Katie to lead this one is because Katie, um, to my knowledge, I can think of at least a dozen times that you've been asked to do the national anthem at different venues. So the first thing I wanted to ask you is how pressure filled is it as an artist to sing the song? How hard is the song to sing, especially because everybody is looking at you, right? They're not doing other
So
things.
I was talking to Jackson about this, and he was like, Jackson and then some other guy, they were like, it's not that hard. And it's really not for a guy. But for a female vocalist, that is one of the hardest songs you can sing. I will grant her that. And especially like that would have been in the evening, but I remember like singing it at the Lone Star Park, the horse races. I had to be there at the ass crack of dawn and be warmed up and ready to sing the worst song ever. Beautiful song. But here's the thing, I have been shit faced on stage, played for 2 hours, shit faced. I did not fucking sound like that.
Okay, but to be fair, being shit faced on stage in front of a band with people doing
I
other
get that.
things and all of that is a little bit different than being in front of 40,000 people a cappella with everybody
Yes.
literally standing on their feet looking at nobody but you. That's a bit of a different thing, I think, right?
I've had less people, but same. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
same environment, a few times. But I don't know. I will grant her it is a hard fucking song, and the delay is awful in the stadium. But they rehearsed that many times. She had to audition for that.
Mm-hmm.
Guarantee you. Probably via video. Then they had to see her in person do it. Then I guarantee you they saw her that day. She practiced in the stadium, and then she went on and did it. You cannot tell me it does not. She was in about 5 different keys, and I'm not talking about pitchy or sharp. Like she
No,
started like here an F, and then
there
she was in
were
A, and then
there
she was
were
in this.
keys that didn't exist yet that she created during that song. I
And if
mean,
you know you're fucking up, dude, damage control. There was none of that. It
and
just got
so
worse.
when I watched it live, my first instinct was, I was like, oh my God, she's blitzed. Like, I was like, there's no way, like, this is
Okay.
the All-Star game, bro. Like, it may not be like the world's most viewed event, but there's millions of people watching that shit.
And here's the thing, being a vocalist, that's a hard fucking song, and you might be having a shit day.
Mm-hmm.
Go up in that head voice. Don't do all those fucking runs. That song is a pretty basic song. A lot of people make it a lot more difficult, which she did. Damage control. Always. Always. I don't know. That is the most mind boggling thing. She just did not seem to have any, like, that is where I believe she was probably drunk. Because she just kept going and could not think of what to do except for what she had already practiced.
I was just worried because, like, a lot of times when people have these kind of performances and then they blame it on alcohol after, it just seems like an easy cop out. But
exactly.
But like for me, I actually saw this live. Right, and making fun of rehab too. That didn't really sit well with me either.
No, and really, I'm sorry. The rehab thing is what really, like, because that's like I have to prove myself. A lot of people, if it's really an actual problem and she's this big, like, she will say I was drunk and I had a problem, but not be like, I'm going to rehab. I'll let you know how rehab is. I bet it's super fun. Like, what?
Yep, piling it on herself, to be fair.
And a lot of people go quiet and, don't talk about that shit and then come out on the other side of it. Like, it's not a proud place to be and she's making fun of it.
Mm-hmm. I was laughing because, like, this is the home run derby. Like, it wasn't even the All-Star game, right? It was the home run derby. I was like, man, people haven't talked about the home run derby this much in forever. I've never seen people talking about the home run derby. So then I was like, man, if she's not drunk, then this was all planned. Because, like, now everybody's talking about the home run derby.
I'm sorry. If you are this big of an artist, if you are considered a professional singer, which some people don't, there's some singer-songwriters that are like, I'm not a singer, I'm just here to, express, like, my thoughts. But she's, we would call her a professional singer if we had to put her in a category.
Absolutely.
And I do not believe
Four-time
that is so.
Grammy Award nominee. Like, this woman is highly successful. You don't just get Grammy nominations for being whatever. Cool me, we lost you there.
But also, you can also listen to her music and see her little niche, what she can do. And she doesn't go far beyond that. There's a lot of people, you just can't sing the national anthem. I'm sorry. I can barely sing it. It has to be a damn good day.
And typically with an event of this magnitude, it's going to be somebody who's done it before and done it well,
exactly.
too. Yeah.
Exactly. And that's what I'm saying. I also blame this on the MLB. I'm sorry. For it to be that bad, there had to have been warning signs.
Absolutely.
Mildly. Mm-hmm. And if there was any question, it should have been pre-recorded and she should have lip-synced it. I'm sorry. They do time. They could have done it for that because now, fuck the game. No one gives a shit about that. Mm-hmm. Like, they're idiots for that. And, I mean, that could have saved her ass. Even though, like, I kind of like when people get called out, but...
Yeah. It's unfortunate. But it is what it is. It happens. I just think, like, when it comes to the national anthem, it's more of a powder keg because of patriotism and all of that stuff. But let's see what comes of it. Hopefully she learns from it. Maybe, perhaps, she'll have a team telling her, it's probably not a good look to make fun of rehab after you completely butchered the most popular song in America.
Yeah. And and I'm not knocking her as a singer. I'm just saying, I am knocking her as a singer. But what she does, she is good at. But she can't do any more than that, apparently.
All right.
That's all I got.
I was looking forward to this so much just to have Kadie talk about this because...
I told you I was going to piss people off.
No, it's okay. It's okay. I think you speak for a lot of people out there. I was just, like I said, if I hadn't seen it live, I would have thought that the whole drunk thing would have been a cop-out. But literally
believe because there was no damage control, that's why I believe that is true.
Yeah, and I saw it live, and I was like, you know what? I think she's probably blitzed. But yeah.
And
Let's.
she's swaying back and forth
Mm-hmm.
and shit.
Oh, she was
Yeah.
getting into it, bro. Like, and to be honest, if you go onto TikTok, I know Katie's not a TikToker, but if you go onto TikTok, they have these people that take like these videos and then they'll put different music behind it instead of what the actual music was. And so, like for example, like there's a TikTok out there where it's the Munchkins on the yellow brick road, and it's like corn or something like that. It's great. But there's a lot of people doing that with with Ingrid or whatever her name is, just adding different music
That's the
songs.
point.
Yeah,
Sorry.
it's great. But so people know her name. So whatever. I guess. Um,
Honestly, and for all the people that didn't know who she was, that's what she's always going to be, and that's sad. But
mm-hmm. Well, she's
like
gonna
me.
have to. She's gonna have to come out of rehab and grow up really fast. To be fair.
Yep.